Attention, everybody. My name is Corey. I am the father of the bride. So it's great to be here. I cannot believe that we're here today. It seems like just yesterday my daughter was born, and here we are together celebrating her and Christoph. I would like to thank the family for being here, especially all the family that came from the Netherlands. Both sets of grandparents are here, mom and dad, friends, aunts, uncles, and Brooks and Christoph hand-selected each one of you to be here. We could have invited a lot of people, and you're here because she wanted you here, or Christoph wanted you guys here, and I just thank you guys so much for being here and taking time out of your schedules and flying across the whole world to be here. And so thank you guys. Next person I'd like to thank my wife for endless hours of work and dedication for our family. She runs books on 3 businesses, takes care of the kids, cleans the house, and does everything else in between. She's an amazing wife, and I don't know where she's at. Thank you, baby. I really love you. Brooks, I want to share with you how much I love you. I remember when you were born and I held you in my arms for the very first time. I was going to try not to cry. I remember carrying you and holding you in your arms for the very first time, and I remember just an overwhelming love that just came over me. And ever since that day that you were born and I carried you into the car, you've just captured my heart. And I just thank God for you every day. So that's how it started. For the first week, it was just heaven until she started crying. And she cried a lot. For 1 month straight, she cried. She cried so much that I made a real bad decision. It's kind of a personal decision. I don't really want to share. It's real embarrassing. But I'll share it with you guys because you guys are all family and close friends. So we couldn't take it any longer. It was bad. And deprived sleep of 1 month affected my judgment. I went to the doctor and I had a procedure done so we could have no more kids. I could not take the chance of that happening again. But you know what? The crazy thing about that whole thing is, the minute I got back, I was in pain. And I sat down on the couch, got home, Brooke stopped crying. She never cried after that. So what I'm thinking is, she didn't want any competition. She wanted to be the only girl, the baby, and the last girl. So that's what I've come to conclusion in figuring out. But truly, I love you and thank God for you. I can remember, I have so many memories. I didn't write down any notes until this morning. I woke up at 4 a.m. and my heart is pounding out of my chest. And I couldn't walk to the mirror and I couldn't even remember my own name. I'm thinking, this is going to be bad. So I did write down a few things so I could remember a few things. But there's so many memories I could tell you guys about Brooks. I could sit here for an hour and just tell you amazing things about her. I remember when she was in 8th grade. A teacher came to her and said, "We want to give you the Citizen of the Year award." It wasn't based on academics, otherwise she wouldn't have got the award. It was based on pure character. It was a character thing, and it was a big award. You're supposed to bring your grandparents, your family, and take pictures afterwards. And it was a big award. It was the last award. And she told the teacher, she said, "You know what?" She said, "Can you give that award to somebody else? I won that award last year, and I don't want to win it. I don't want to have the same award again. Can you give it to somebody else?" And I never, it seems like a little insignificant thing, but that was something that nobody ever knew about. And that was something that she gave away to somebody else. And it just shows her character and of who she is. I can think of many other things. One thing that I really appreciate about Brooks is she's very thoughtful and considerate, like to the extreme. I go fishing in the morning, and sometimes I leave like at 4 in the morning, go salmon fishing, and Brooks always has my lunch packed. And in the lunch, she has little love notes in there. "Dad, I love you, I appreciate you." She has scriptures in there. She'll have anything kind of encouraging. And she's done this her whole life, since she was little. She packs Dad a lunch. I've been embarrassed a few times, though, I have to say, because sometimes she'll pack it. When she was younger, she'd pack it in like a little pink, flowery box. And the guys I'm fishing with are like, "What's that?" I'm like, "That's my lunch." So that was always fun. And then when it comes to like birthdays and stuff, she doesn't just, she thinks about it, of what she's going to give you. And she might think about it for months. And she'll spend time making something very special. It's not just go to Walmart and get a card and sign it the last minute and buy Dad some chocolates. She's a very thoughtful person. She always has thought of her family and her friends. And so that's the girl that I've been blessed with. Super thoughtful. And then she turned 18, which is good. You all turn 18, 20 in those ages. But those seem to be like really hard years, because all of a sudden you're on your own, you make your own decisions and stuff. And I can remember I no longer gave her advice, just let her do what she's going to do. And I just remember a night praying that she was making good decisions. And she made some good ones, and she made some bad ones, just like all of us. And the thing that I want to share with you is that we got into a little argument. I don't know if you remember this, Brooks, or not. But our argument was, you didn't date a lot of boys, but you had a couple boyfriends, and I didn't like any of them. And one time you got real mad at me, and we didn't really argue much, but one time you got real mad at me, and you even, I think you yelled at me, and you said, "No boy will ever be good enough for you, Dad." And she slammed the door, and I said, "That's right," and I slammed the door. And we left it at that. And then, soon after that, God did a miracle. She broke up with that creepy loser boyfriend. I know this is getting a little off track here, but it's going to come back around. But this is a really turning point. I don't know if you guys are parents and you have 20-year-olds. This is a real turning point in Brooks' life. She had to make a decision on her own that wasn't based on her parents, if she wants to follow God and serve God and be a Christian. And at that point, at her lowest point, she surrendered her life to God, and she began to really run after God and seek Him. And shortly after that, she went to YWAM. And I didn't even know that I knew about YWAM, but I didn't think she knew anything about YWAM. And she said, "Dad, I'm going to go to YWAM." I was like, "Sounds great." She went to YWAM, and it's really cool when you have a relationship with God, how He guides your steps, every step that you take. And so when you're at YWAM, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember it very well. me and my wife had a trip planned. It was in Kona, Hawaii, and we had planned a trip 6 months before we even knew that Brooks was going to Hawaii. And so we were there in Hawaii and on vacation, and she was going to be there at YWAM, and her program is a 6-month program, and it's like 3 months of discipleship training and then 3 months of mission trip. And so when we were there, we thought, well, we better go visit Brooks. We got off the airplane, we'll go visit her just really fast, say hi, and then we'll leave and leave her alone, you know what I mean? Let her be with all of her friends and have the whole YWAM experience. And so we did that. We went there and visited her, and she was like, Dad, can you guys want to come with me to class? I was like, yeah, we'll go with you to class. And then she said, why don't you spend the whole week with us? And you know what? Sorry, I might get a little bit emotional, but it's so honoring as parents to have your 20-year-old daughter want to spend time with you. They barely like to even acknowledge you, let alone spend a whole week with you at YWAM. I literally got up at 6 a.m. We took every class that she took. It was during Holy Spirit Week. It was really cool. It was insanely, it was, honestly, that whole week was like a highlight of my life. And there I got to see my daughter's transformation before my eyes. We spent 3 or 4 hours in worship every night. Like there, my daughter's up in the front there with 100 other kids or 500 other youth and everybody, and she's up there just both hands, just surrendering her life to God, raising both hands, just worshiping and shouting out to the Lord. It was just such a priceless experience. And you know what? God's going to bless you for the way that you honor your mom and me. God is really going to bless you for that. Then, me and Messa left and came back. I'll try to speed this up a little bit. We left and we came back to Oregon, and she finished out her YWAM experience. And so she went on the mission trip. At that point, she didn't know anything about Christoph, never mentioned him or nothing. She went on her YWAM experience, and she happened to go to the Philippines. And the crazy thing is, I don't understand, there's a box you can check for the Philippines, and there's a box you can check for, do you want to be like in the rustic wilderness, or do you want to be in the hotel? And if you know my daughter, she would never check that rustic box. Somehow, I don't know if it was an accident, she checked the rustic box. God knew right then and there that Christoph was going to be on the same DTS. And they met each other there, and they met each other at the craziest time and experience. Christoph, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Christoph, when he got there, he didn't have any clothes. They didn't come. All their luggage got lost in the mail, and they're there for 3 months. And so she was like, some people lost their luggage, and Brooks would update me all the time. And Christoph's didn't come the first week, second week, third week, fourth week, fifth week, no clothes for Christoph. Can you imagine how he smelled? So they met. You can imagine Christoph's all like stanky. And then Brooks, and they were doing mission work together. Okay. Then Brooks called me, and she's sick. And there's this thing at YWAM. And this is probably really inappropriate, but I'm going to say it anyway. Okay. There's this thing at YWAM that if you're sick, they say you got the dragon.
Oh yeah, the double dragon.
The dragon. Okay, the dragon is you're throwing up. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to tell them. So you got the dragon, and that means like, oh, I got the dragon. I'm throwing up, and a lot of people were sick. Brooks was sick for like weeks and weeks. But Brooks didn't just have the dragon, she had the double dragon. It's coming out both ends.
From the water.
So, I know it's bad, but so Christoph didn't have clothes, and he was stinking, and Brooks had the double dragon.
It's true.
And that's how they started their relationship, and they fell in love through that couple months that they were serving together in the Philippines. And I just think that's so cool.
Thanks, Dad.
I'm sure Brooks appreciates me telling that. So then, I'm going to wrap this up here. Christoph then Brooks was telling me about this Christoph boy, and I'm thinking, well, that's great. She's surrendered her life to God. She's got godly wisdom, and she likes this boy. I'm thinking, yeah, he might be all right. And then she was telling me about him every night, or every week she'd call and say more things about Christoph. And I thought, man, that's really cool. They're starting to get closer, and they're good friends. And I was like, well, how old is he? And she never answered me. I thought, well, no big deal. No big deal. And then the next time she called, I was like, had the same, more conversation about how cool he was and how he loved the Lord and how he was a Christian guy and all this. Really, really, she had a lot of amazing good things to say about him. And then I asked the same question again, well, how old is he? And she, you know what, she never answered me. Finally, I think Christoph was listening on the phone, and he grabbed the phone and he said, I'm 17 and I love your daughter. And he said, what do you think about that? He's very direct, intentional, direct. And he said, what do you think about that? And my first words to him, I said, I think you're crazy. That's how our relationship started. Then Christoph came, their relationship began to grow and get deeper and deeper. Then Christoph came to the States, and we absolutely fell in love with Christoph. We love him. He has a good heart. Some things that I love about Christoph is that first of all, he loves the Lord. And Christoph is a very hard worker, and he loves my daughter. He's so patient and kind. Even we went out a few times, and I've told him a few times, like, Brooks, she's being unreasonable. You need to tell her. He's like, no. It's fine. We'll just do what she wants. So he's super patient, super kind. He has godly wisdom. He is wise, way beyond his years. And Christoph, I really love you. And I've really gotten to know you over the last year and love you so much and appreciate you. And I think you guys are just the most amazing couple. And I just see God all over you guys. And I'm super excited for the future. And thank you.
I love you.
Thank you.
I love you, Dad.
I'm so happy that I can say something. Even though I find it very scary, I really enjoy saying something, because who would ever thought I would give my brother a speech right now? Yes, 2 years ago I got a call on the way to the ski vacation. Larry, I have something to tell you. Well, all kind of things ran through my head, but the only thing I hadn't thought about was that you met someone. And I remembered it so well, I was in shock. I thought you weren't serious. I immediately wanted to know what she looked like, her name, and where she came from, and what kind of person she was. When I heard America, I thought, hopefully this will be serious. Then we have an excuse to go there. Then came the hard part, not telling everyone. Wow, I found it difficult, but I managed it. The moment you told me you were in an official relationship, I was so happy, I couldn't wait to meet her. When Brooks came to us, I was actually very nervous, because yes, she's from America, and what would she be like in real life, and would she like me? But you are such a nice, sweet, pleasant girl, and I'm so grateful that you two have met. When Chris went back to America and texted me a while later, I really have to tell you something, but I'll call you tomorrow. Then I thought, no, I need to know right now. Again, a lot of things went through my head, but when I saw that box and that ring, I thought, no, you're not serious. This is really gonna happen. And I felt the tears in my eyes from happiness. And I was so happy for you when I saw those photos a while later. That you asked Brooks to marry you, I was so happy but also so sad, because I knew because I knew right away you would stay there and how I would miss you, and I still miss you so much. Chris, you grow so much from a kid gaming in a room all day, fighting with me, to be a son of God and now a loving husband for Brooks. Also, our relationship grew so much. I know I can tell you everything and talk to you always. I'm so happy for you that you find someone who makes you happy. Even though I miss you so much, I know you'll be good here and you'll be loved with your in-laws. Now the day has really arrived, and how beautiful is it? I'm so grateful that God brought you two together and that your love for each other is already so strong. Brooks, I am glad you became a part of our family and you could be the sister to me I never had. So Brooks, welcome to the family, and I wish you all the happiness together. God bless you and I love you.
Well, dear Christoph, dear Brooks, I wrote it down. I'm not a native English speaker, so I just look on my paper some while, now and then. You are the happiest couple I have ever seen. I'm sure that the smile on your face reflects how you feel today and how much you two enjoy this wedding ceremony. Life is a journey. This metaphor is neither original nor new, but it is so true and it fits with your life so well that I choose it for this piece. A journey starts with a plan, but before that you also need a dream, and then the actual journey is the execution of all this. Neither of these three applies for your journey. First, there was no dream for your future. At least, Christoph, you never told about a dream, or if you had one. In fact, during your last year in high school, you didn't know what to do afterwards. What you did know was that continuing study was not the desired option. During those months, we suggested as parents some other possibilities, like a year of high school, like Sven did in the USA, or some form of discipleship training somewhere. And you became enthusiastic about it. I can tell you that was a great joy and thankfulness for us. And there was Thijs, sitting over there somewhere, over there. A brand new friend who became a soulmate in no time. God had already planned this for you, and it worked out so well. Suddenly, there was a plan, even without a dream. So phase 2 of the journey, making a plan, was there. DTS in Kona, Hawaii, followed by a mission trip to the Philippines. You kept us really informed, and we were touched and thankful for God's work in your life. But when we zoom out a little bit, God's plan was also present here in Oregon, motivating you, Brooks, to come up with exactly the same. And the reason we are here together, your wedding, had no dream, plan, nor execution at that time. I will come back to that later. Your execution of DTS took place in September 22, less than 2 years ago. A journey, going to the unknown, being surprised by all the beautiful things that happened, learning lessons about yourself, overcome disappointments, being challenged to take new steps, diving very deeply into God's plan for this world and for your life. Testifying about His path with you for the people in the Philippines. We loved you so much, despite the distance and the time difference. Last Sunday, we visited Bridgetown Church in Portland, and I will borrow the 3 points the speaker used to teach us about God's plan. Looking back, looking forward, and awaiting with hope. We just looked back a little, focusing on the most recent 2 years of Christoph's life. Tomorrow I will tell you much more about this, looking back further and deeper. When we look back, we can also look around here. Christoph and Brooks, look around you. It is amazing how many people are gathered to be a witness of your love. And they all made the effort to be here today. We all love you, especially the Dutch people now. And we all love the new people, the new family as well. And we are so happy for you. Thank you so much for being here, grandparents and friends. Also, welcome to the International Potluck Party tomorrow at the Bontrager Mansion, where these days it's turned into a real lodge, RV park and much more. Dear Corey and Vanessa, where are you? Over there. We really thank you so much for everything you've done to make this happen and for your great kindness and hospitality. Looking forward can be challenging. We just left it up to you and trust that God will provide the best He has in mind. So we will be there to support you, Christoph and Brooks, in all the things you will undertake. Also knowing that your loving parents and other family here in Oregon are there for you. Christoph, you learned so much during the last year, but still there's so much more to learn. Stay curious, as you always were when something interested you. What I've learned is that looking forward also means surrender instead of being in control. Trusting God in His mysterious ways, with the confirmation of what He did in the past and the conviction He will provide for the future. As we read in the Bible in Jeremiah, "For I knew the plan I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." So this brings us to the third point, awaiting with hope. When I look to you, Christoph and Brooks, I clearly see the love for each other. Starting back there in the Philippines, all the way through Amsterdam, to this beautiful place here in Oregon. Long story short, we will probably hear more about it. Suddenly, Christoph phoned us from Mindoro Island. You fell in love with Brooks. It was mutual, and the rest was not history. It shaped the future. This future is bright and shining, a future of hope and love. As I said before, awaiting with hope also means surrender instead of being in control. That can be hard or difficult. Believe me, following Jesus brings you further together. It brings you to places you haven't dreamed of so far. Meeting people you didn't pick up yourself and seeing miracles and blessing. We are curious to the years to come, to be supporting parents for you in all the steps you're going to make, to see you once in a while live, often on FaceTime, and always in our hearts and prayers. God has a dream, a plan, and He uses you and all of us to execute this in this world. God also had a dream to live closely together with us. He planned His rescue from sin and death through the work of Jesus, and He executed this long time ago by sending His Holy Spirit to be with us in every situation. And so eternal life starts immediately when accepting this offer. I know you did so, Christoph, being baptized in the ocean at Hawaii and continuing to follow Him in your life. And I know this also brought you, Brooks, to Hawaii, longing for discipleship in your life, surrendering yourself to Him. These days I had the chance to observing you two together with friends and family. A year ago we met you, Brooks, for the first time, visiting our family, our house, our country, while attending DBS in Amsterdam. We love you, we really do. You're so kind, humble, cheerful, modest and open. We are so happy to be here right now, together with so many family friends. Thanks again for coming. Christoph and Brooks, I clearly see the happiness and love. First for each other. You two grew close to each other last year. Be blessed together and love each other always. In good times and bad times. And I'm happy to show the love you had for all of us these days. Laughing, being relaxed, having fun, injuring your feet, and so on. Meeting new friends here in Oregon, in the church in Corvallis, among Brooke's lovely family. So, looking back with gratitude, looking forward with curiosity, and awaiting with hope. Fitting in God's dream, plan and execution. Dear Christoph and Brooks, we love you very much, letting you go to live together and bless you every day.
I'll try to keep it kort maar krachtig, which means short and powerful. So after we can all just run to the dessert. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Thijs. And for those who don't know me, I've had the absolute pleasure of being Christoph's best friend for the past years. And it's truly an honor to stand here today and celebrate this beautiful wedding. The story that began in the beautiful Philippines, a story that began with secret meetings in the woods and secret little mall dates, even though you guys won't admit it. And endless conversations of whether if or not the interest was from both sides. And from naming Brooks a little sister and her friend, to you introducing me, Brooks, as your girlfriend, your fiancée, and now today as your wife. It has been an absolute honor to witness how Brooks and Christoph found each other and how a secret love story in the Philippines now turned into this amazing couple overflowing of God's love. And Chris and I have shared countless adventures, laughs, and maybe a bit too few many late night conversations about some dreams and our life goals. And I've seen him grow from a teenager with big dreams into a real man of God. And now, today, he has realized the biggest of them. Today, as he stands here next to his beautiful bride, I can say with all certainty that he is living now his dream. And in Dutch we say, uit het oog, maar nooit uit het hart. And in English it means out of the eye, but never out of the heart. And I think I can speak for the rest of Christoph's friends and family that we had a hard time letting you go, Chris. And no one or nothing else will ever replace you, replace your kindness, your laugh, or your tears. And but seeing you flourishing here in Albany brings us so much joy. And it's truly an honor to be able to celebrate you guys here today. And leaving everything behind, friends and family, to be with the most amazing woman of your dreams. Moving to America to be with Brooks was a bold and courageous step. And it shows just how deep his love and commitment is. And it takes a special person to inspire such dedication. And Brooks, you are truly special. And I am forever grateful that Christoph found you. And to be honest, before and after DTS, I hadn't much positive to say about the States. Chris and I, we spent a lot of time joking about Americans and their culture, processed foods, and their personalities. And now, Chris, you've gone and you married one. And it turns out the jokes, the jokes are now on us, because the best thing about America was waiting there just for you. And there is friends and there is family, and there are friends that become family. And Chris, you've been like a brother to me, and Brooks, you've become part of my family too. This time not as a little sister, right, Chris? And family is not based on distance or nationality. It's based on the connection by heart, and I want to say that I love you both. God bless you.